The 1970s arrived, and the world felt different. Trust had eroded. Institutions were questioned. Certainty gave way to doubt. Comic books reflected that change. The bright optimism of the Silver Age faded into something heavier, more grounded, and far more honest. This was the Bronze Age of comics, an era defined by realism, rebellion, and reflection. Superheroes were still the center of the medium, but they no longer felt invincible. Stories became more personal. Loss had consequences. Choices mattered. In The Amazing Spider-Man, readers were confronted with tragedy when Gwen Stacy died, a moment that changed how stories could end and who could be lost. Across the industry, heroes wrestled with grief, guilt, corruption, and moral failure in ways never seen before. At Marvel, characters felt closer to the real world than ever. The X-Men returned with a diverse international cast. Wolverine, the Punisher, and the Ghost Rider blurred the line between hero and anti-hero. Luke Cage and Black Panther brought visibility and representation to readers long excluded from the page. But the Bronze Age was never just about superheroes. Genres took center stage. Horror surged back into prominence with Swamp Thing, The Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, and Ghost Rider. Fantasy flourished through Conan the Barbarian, Red Sonja, and Kull the Conqueror. Science fiction expanded with 2001: A Space Odyssey, Micronauts, and Star Wars, pushing comics into new worlds and new audiences. War, crime, and action titles explored violence and consequence with renewed seriousness, while humor and romance endured through Archie, Mad Magazine, Richie Rich, and Millie the Model, offering escape in uncertain times. Publishers beyond the superhero mainstreams thrived. Warren Publishing transformed black and white magazines like Creepy, Eerie, and Vampirella into platforms for sophisticated horror and satire. Gold Key and Charlton delivered science fiction and pulp adventure with Dr. Solar, Mighty Samson, E-Man, and The Phantom. In 1977, heavy metal arrived from Europe, introducing American readers to surreal art, adult themes, and cinematic storytelling unlike anything on the newsstands. Outside the mainstream, underground comics continued to challenge the boundaries of the medium. Through publishers like Zap Comics, Rip-Off Press, and Kitchen Sink, creators explored sex, drugs, politics, war, and counterculture without censorship, proving that comics could speak directly to adulthood and dissent. As the decade progressed, the industry itself began to change. The Comics Code Authority loosened its grip, allowing monsters, moral ambiguity, and social realism to return openly to the page. Stories grew darker, more complex, and more reflective of the world readers lived in. Behind the scenes, creators pushed for recognition and rights. Artists and writers demanded fair pay, ownership, and credit. By the late 1970s, creator names appeared prominently on covers, a sign that comics were no longer anonymous factory products, but personal expression. In 1978, Will Eisner released A Contract with God. It wasn't about superheroes or spectacle. It was about life, faith, and loss. The book helped define a new form and gave the medium a name: the graphic novel. By the end of the decade, comics had changed forever. Crossovers brought readers together. Characters grew deeper. Themes grew heavier. The Bronze Age proved that comics could confront reality, explore identity, and tell stories without easy answers. It was the bridge between innocence and awareness, between optimism and doubt. And from that uncertainty, a dark, more confrontational era was about to emerge. The Dark Age was about to begin.